That's right. It's Wednesday at noon Pacific. And you know what that means? Do you? Do you have any idea? Well, you must have some idea if you're here. Let's just make sure, I have to refresh my screen, make sure I'm broadcasting, and then we'll get into it. And let's see. Yep, that's me, broadcasting. Bob Doyle, featured teacher in the film and book The Secret, here to talk about the law of attraction like I do every Wednesday here at noon p.m. Pacific time. But I must say, my friends, you're my friends, right? I'd like to think you're my friends. I don't want to just think about you as, people who are what? My Facebook friends, my email list subscribers? No. We're all in this together. So you're part of, you're part of my reality. And I'm a part of yours. Like it or not, it's too late. If you're watching this, I'm a part of your reality. You've let me in. You're not going to kick me out now, are you? That would be rude, and it would hurt my feelings. Hello? What happened there? Let's try that again. Well, look, I am Bob Doyle, and any minute now something's going to show up here at the bottom to prove it to you. Because a lot of people need to see it in print. But what I don't see is a room full of people. But there's Belinda and Sarah and Jerry. And some product placement. Okay, wait a minute. My little title is showing up for like 1 second. That's not going to work. Let me just fix that right in front of you. I don't know why it's doing that, but I don't really know what's happening. It's kind of new technology. What can I tell you? Fairly new. All right, so look, here's what we do here. If you're new, welcome. And here's what you got to do. All right, I'll turn down the music. I'll just let it fade. Here's what you do. The first thing you got to do is be like Steve and Jerry and Sarah and Belinda and say hello in the comments here. Because although this is good for my health to do this, it's not why I do it. I don't, in fact, do it for my health. But see, here's where it all comes down. Salcedo. Hello, Salcedo. I do not recognize your name, so I think that you're new here for this weekly broadcast, and welcome, and I'm so happy to have you here. You are in for a treat. Ish. All right, I don't know. That title shows up for like a second. You didn't even have time to read what's going on. So I don't know why that's happening, but I mean it should stay up there for longer than a second. Anyway, look, if you're brand new to this program, hi Shane, Rosette Nicholas. You like treats? Well, good, because this show is just one big long treat. But not a big, long title. I have to fix this, guys. I can't. It's just goofy for that thing to show up and then it's like, it's gone in 2 seconds. Now it's even less time. I don't know what's happening. How about if I do that? See, this is why this broadcast is so fun, because I bring you in behind the scenes and make you suffer through my own technical glitches. Isn't that fun? Charlotte is here. She was just about to go and do something else. All right, we'll see. Thank goodness for the reminders on Facebook. Yes, it's Wednesday. It is Wednesday, right? So look, this almost didn't happen, and I'll tell you why. And I know I almost always say that, don't I? I can't. There's got to be a way for me just to keep that up there. I'll just keep it up there. I think that'll work. So you won't ever forget who. It's not working. I don't understand it. Who cares? You all know who I am. So look, so we do reminders. We do actually do reminders. I don't have them ready for you. There's links you can click so that you'll be notified on your desktop or on Facebook messages. Lynn Rose making a guest appearance by talking loudly in the background. So that you can be notified when I go live. And like it was with Charlotte. And it looked cool though. Yeah, but what there's no point in that happening. You know what? I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to turn it off because that's just distracting and weird. Maybe I'll try and restart it and see if anything else happens differently. Nope, now it's even worse. Oh well. We won't worry about it. Are you worried about it? Don't worry about it. There's so many other things in your life that deserve your mental energy besides this and its short, brief time that it appears on the screen. Craziness. All right. So anyway, what we do here each week, if you're new, then you're probably new because you got an email today from me. And if you did, I'd love to know that. And last week I shared with you that it was the first time I actually sent an email to my email list about this live broadcast the moment that I went live. And some of you showed up as a result of that, which was great. So it was like proved that it was a good idea to do. But it was interesting because as I was going to send that email or schedule that email again today, guess what happened? I saw that 2 people had not just unsubscribed, which is fine, because as you know, I'm moving away from sending email completely anyway. But they complained. So these are people who subscribed for information from Boundless Living. I send an email that says, I'm giving away free information, Q&A that you can get right now with absolutely nothing to sell, and they complain. That's why I don't want to send email anymore. Because people are just funny. They're funny. But I can only laugh so much. I can't just laugh all day. I got stuff I got to do. So I'm going to try and cut down on my laughing at people unsubscribing from information that they asked for by not sending email at all pretty soon. Feels good. Feels good. I know, but a lot of people did say that, hey, I want your email. I mean, I actually got people sending me emails saying, please don't stop sending email because I like your email. So what do? I guess create a whole new thing that says, look, I'm going to stop sending email unless you click this button. And then that'll put you on, I guess, another list. But if you ever unsubscribe from that list, I'm banning you forever. All right, that's kind of a... You're right. Not Tara, you don't complain. Michelle, and none of you here. You set an alarm on your phone, Michelle? That is unbelievable. That is awesome. Well, I better deliver. But like I said, I almost didn't come today because I had an eye appointment. You guys know how. If you followed me for any amount of time in any of my live broadcasts, especially when I'm doing Periscope or any of these things where I have to read comments, I'm constantly, hey, Reiki Rain, I'm looking well. Well, that's nice of you to say. But I went and got my eyes checked today, finally, after years. So I will be getting a new set of glasses next week that will solve my problems. I know I'm making such a big deal out of something as every day as getting glasses, but I've been delaying it for so long and complaining about my vision for so long. Finally to go and get it done, awesome. Well, I'm glad you're not missing this one. I'm glad I did it. But I only got back like 20 minutes before the show, and I was like, well, I'm going to have to scramble. I don't have really anything prepared. Like sometimes I'll come in with a topic that I want to discuss, along with your questions. Remember, this is all about you asking questions and me answering them live. That's why we have this comment section here so that everyone can see your questions. No more cheaters. Thank you, Dimitri. I appreciate you I appreciate hearing you say that. I get a lot of nice compliments about the movie in general. Obviously, the only thing I did was my part. But I'm really, really glad that it's still impacting lives, still making a difference for people. I'm still getting emails from people who just saw it like, whatever, a week ago. Saw it for the first time and the impact. And then I get a lot of people who see it and then they immediately say, okay, I want to do this, but I need help, which is great. That's what this is for. So make your way here every Wednesday and let's talk about what's coming up for you in terms of the law of attraction. Now you have to also, if you're new here, you have to understand that the way I do things on this show is a lot different than you might expect. Like, for example, I've talked for 9 minutes and said nothing, really. Except just hanging out. Well, you mean to replace the broken mug, Michelle? Were you here when I broke my mug the last time? My broken mug is glued and sitting over there on my other desk for visual enjoyment, but I will not use it like this one because if you saw me, I thought it was 2 weeks ago when I picked up the mug and it broke, or was that last week? I don't know. I can't remember. Oh, yes. No more readers. No more reader cheaters. I don't even have my phone here with me with my little thin optics. But yeah, I'll just wear glasses. I'll just wear glasses all the time for driving and everything, It was 2 weeks ago. Thank you, Charlotte. Yeah. Have I mentioned that everything just tastes better out of a Bob Doyle Show coffee mug? Look, if you're also new, let me just say that I do the Bob Doyle Show, which is not a law of attraction show at all. But it's not very dissimilar to what I'm doing right now. Every Friday at noon on my personal timeline. At least for now. Still looking at ways of moving the whole show over to bobdoyleshow.com, so we have everything happening there. But for now, Facebook is where it's at. Where can you get mugs? Well, I'll be happy to tell you. If you go to bobdoyleshow.com/store, I'll type it. Here I go. Here I am. I tell everybody I got nothing to sell, and now I'm typing Bob Doyle Show/store. That doesn't bode well for my integrity. But look, what I mean is I'm not here to plug a law of attraction program or anything like that. But I guess I'll plug the Bob Doyle Show all the time. Anyway, bobdoyleshow.com/store. Yep, there it is. Popped up correctly. All right, so that's how you can get a mug. Let's get back to the law of attraction. So the forum here, how can the law of attraction help eliminate ISIS? Wow, I can't believe you asked a question that freaking huge, because I could take a whole show to talk about that, because there's so much at play about that. Oh my goodness. Because it's not just about ISIS. It's about the question is how can that law of attraction be used to solve world crises in general, right? And when you ask a question coming from that place, there's so many freaking implications, because we live in a quantum universe with infinite possibility, and we as individuals are all perceiving our universe through our individual lens. You, Salcedo, are experiencing this broadcast in a way that is completely different than Jerry is. I mean, I'm sure there's some common threads, but all of our perceptions and our feelings and our beliefs and all of these things shape the way that we look at and perceive the world and interpret the energy that is this universe of ours. It's all a big ocean of energy, and we as human beings are interpreting this energy to create our realities literally in every moment of every day. And our backgrounds and our beliefs and everything, all of this stuff comes into saying, here's the energy that's coming at us, and here's how our senses are interpreting it. Here's how we feel about it, and this shapes our knowledge, beliefs, and everything that's possible for us in the world and what comes in from it. So your experience of ISIS, while I'm sure there would be a lot of agreement that it's a terrible, violent, horrible thing, and we want that stopped and all of that, could be different than other people's. I guess a blanket answer, a quick blanket answer is, in The Secret, they did talk about, war and peace and all of that stuff. And it's visualizing, rather than thinking anti-ISIS, it's pro-peace, right? Instead of anti-terrorism, it's pro-whatever, not terrorism. Creating a world where the focus, in your mind, a vision where it's the vision is the solution and not going after the problem, which just puts more energy and focus on the problem. Dimitri says, law of attraction worked a lot of times for me. I get what I visualized, but it's not as so big as I wanted. Why? How to more than I expected? Well, first of all, because you have this concept of big and small where the universe does not. If you have something big, that means you have a whole set of beliefs around it, and you have energy around it. There's a likelihood, there's probably some implied belief that a big thing is harder to deliver than a small thing. And because of that belief, because you call this a big thing, you've got resistance built in. If it was just a thing, which is how the universe looks at things, and that's how you truly felt about it, then you wouldn't have the same energetic resistance of going, well, do I deserve a big thing? What makes it big to you, I suppose, would be my next question. How can the law of attraction, Shane says, thanks for the questions. You guys are just right out of the chute. Okay, he's got nothing to say. I'm going to ask him questions. Perfect. Shane says, how can the law of attraction help me get out of pain that I've been in for 20 years? It's hard to focus on great when it's always hanging around. Are you talking about physical pain, or are you talking about emotional pain, Shane? Thank you, Charlotte. I'm sure you would have answered it the same way. You've been trained by a highly, I don't even know what word to say. So anyway, Dimitri, that would be my follow-up question. Okay, Reiki says, she called me Hun, first of all, which is endearing. I practice the law of attraction every single day with love and light, and I was just about to fly out to the States to meet would be Guy. He said he wanted to marry me and move to the UK, only to find out that he's cheated on me and have got married to another within a month of meeting him. I'm so positive why this have to happen. Okay. First of all, if you can, detach from any thoughts that sees what I think what happened is because of the situation, because he told you certain things, you were led to believe that certain things were true. So you took those as true and you constructed a vision and an expectation around those things. Fact of the matter, however, was that it wasn't true. He was lying to you, right? So, but in that whole experience, your vibration shifted in various ways. Actually, you know what? There's probably the answer that I was going to give you is way too simplified, and there's way too much I would need to know about you and what your history with relationships is, what your expectation is for a relationship, what were you hoping to get out of this relationship, aside from just the obvious, hey, you know, I want a partner for life. Why? We have to dig deeper to find out how things come in and out of our lives at that level with that level of detail. We'd really have to kind of go deep. That would be a kind of more of a coaching type of situation. The answer I could give you now, Marion's here. Physical pain. Okay, hold on, Shane. Let me bookmark that. So, oh wait, that's Lorraine, isn't it? Not Reiki Rain. I forgot. Somebody had to change their name. Am I right about that? So many people, I get confused. So it's great that you have, hopefully, that you have a great vision of who it is that you want in your life. And perhaps this person seemed to be that. So you got to lock in and confirm, yes, I want all those traits except for the cheating part. So basically you just kind of narrowed it down. And look, the thing is that yes, you probably experienced some heartbreak and some pain, emotional, stuff like that doesn't seem fair because you were so positive and all of that. So have that experience, have the pain, go through that, but don't make it mean anything like the law of attraction doesn't work, you're broken, you don't deserve any of that stuff. What the truth is, events happened. Okay? And one of the events was that this guy was dishonest with you. And as a result, then this relationship is not going to happen the way that you wanted it to. So now you have every right to be upset about that, have some pain around that. But then it's time to just clarify your vision. I want all of that and not a cheater. Yeah, it would just take a much deeper conversation to get more specific with you about that. Maybe it's one of those things, if you want to, you could post in the Law of Attraction coaching or the Boundless Living coaching Facebook page and ask that question, and maybe you can get into a deeper dialogue with a coach who can dig and ask some of those questions for you. Okay, so the physical pain. These are going by so fast I don't want to lose things. The physical pain, I guess then I would ask you, have you taken an approach to deal with it like from an emotional level, like using things like EFT and other of these energy type modalities to deal with the pain? Has anyone linked that pain to an emotional issue as of yet? Those would be my next follow-up questions before I can go further. So Dimitri, for me, like big is working with high-level clients and earning, I guess that's $1 million a year in 3 years. Is that $1 million or 100,000? It's like $1 million. Because right now I do not have competence at that level status. I discovered mechanics which can help, but still it looks big. All right. How about we change the word from big to, I don't know, inspired or something like that, like that has a really positive energy around it that doesn't make it seem unattainable. Because look, people can start from zero and earn $1 million in 3 years. And now you want to be careful about the language that you used around, I don't have competence of that level, because that kind of conversation will certainly not serve you. You need to believe that you have the competence, or that it is in the process of being developed, or whatever. But that you, Dimitri, are perfectly capable and deserving of that kind of income. Because until you get to that point, you're likely to resist it. But the other thing is that I would say, well, why $1 million? Why is that important to you? Why must you achieve those goals? Because if it's just an, and I don't take this wrong, I'm just throwing this out there. But if it's just an ego-driven thing like, I want that much money to feel successful, then I need you to reevaluate that. Because that's not enough. So it needs to be something that's more in line with who you really are, what you're up to, the value you want to put out in the world, the whole why must I do this thing, you know, which is my favorite question to have anybody answer. And Ho'oponopono is another recommendation from Marion to deal with maybe some of the pain and that kind of thing. Before Terry scrolls out, I've been visualizing numerous different things. Should I do one at a time and focus all at once? They all tie together. I've been having success and tamed the shrew, the ego, and EFT is a great releasing tool. Great. So Terry, I am a big picture person, not a piecemeal person. So I would say get your whole vision in mind and focus on the feeling of that whole vision thing. Don't get overwhelmed because you're not trying to figure out every detail and focus on like trying to remember every detail. You just kind of want to know in you, what is your big picture vision? What are the elements? Who are the people? What's the feeling you want to have? How abundant do you want to feel? Maybe not get so attached to a particular dollar amount, but just know that whatever that dollar amount ends up being, makes you feel the way you want to feel. Prosperous, abundant, free, secure, that type of thing. But have the whole picture. Because when people piecemeal and say, well, I want this amount of money, and they don't look at how that would affect or impact the rest of their life, you know, the other aspects of their life, sometimes there's just too much of a disconnect. And your brain isn't going to let you do it, basically. You're going to have resistance. So it's much, much better to know the big picture. Who are you? What do you really want to do with your life? What's the impact you want to make? How prosperous and free, secure, all of those things do you want to feel? Be clear about that. The big picture just keeps growing. It's amazing. Jory's here. Jory, you post the greatest stuff. The thing you posted yesterday with that woman in the fort of pillows. I'm just saying that so everyone will go and click on your name and follow you and read that post, because that's just so the kind of stuff you do, and I love that playful. Jory is another one of Jory and Charlotte are both Boundless Living coaches, and I love that playful approach you take to life, and more people need it. More people need to be as smiley and positive as you and playful as you. You're, yeah, the feeling that you're going for, inspiring. Okay, good. So while we're waiting for another question, let me share something. So as you guys know, I don't know that you know this. Maybe you don't. If you watch the Bob Doyle Show, you know. That's the way to keep in the loop. Just watch the Bob Doyle Show. Will you do that for me? I'll tell you what, everybody we're going to take a break, go back and watch all the Bob Doyle shows, and then come back. I don't do that, I'm just kidding. But they are archived. You can watch them all. Anyway, that's not the point. So I have taken a keen interest in virtual reality. And the implications of it go far beyond games and, you know, those types of things. Although I love playing those games. Virtual reality is the direction that Boundless Living at my company is going. So away from selling law of attraction products and things like that on a day-to-day basis. They're all still going to be available, but my day-to-day is not that, as I've said many times. I want to get to your question, Lorraine, but let me finish my comment. And if I don't get back to it, just post that again and remind me. So Boundless Living is going down the virtual reality road. We're totally in the research stuff right now, and basically I'm playing with different things to understand what's possible now. If you have been following, you know I've just been sort of inviting the universe to bring me resources and things like that around virtual reality, and I have met programmers, and it's working, basically. My intention, my law of attraction vision intention for Boundless Living in terms of going down the virtual reality road and eventually creating offerings for the virtual reality world is happening, as I knew it would, because I have a very inspired vision. I'm pretty clear on why I must do this. And it's a very, very logical path for me to go down. And so on the Bob Doyle Show, we talk about it a lot. I demonstrate virtual reality things. And one of these days soon here on this, I will be doing it as well. Just to give you guys a taste of it. I don't know how much of you have I don't know how many of you have even peeked at what's going on in virtual reality right now. I know Jory knows. But now that I have a system here that I'm working with and playing with and learning how to create content for, I'm of course more and more excited about the direction that we're going with this stuff. But I'm also realizing the implications are huge in the personal development world. Because, and this, if you know the very basics of the law of attraction, it should be immediately obvious. But, you know, since what we're doing with our visualization exercises is trying to create the experience, the visceral, emotional, sensory experience of having it now, whatever it is, virtual reality allows us to have that in a way that is just not possible any other way right now. You know, the best visualizers on the planet, I shouldn't say that because I'm not one, but probably don't get the amount of realism in terms of image and sounds and everything that you get from putting on a virtual reality helmet and being transported to an environment that, with the right tools, can be completely of your making. So if you want to, if you've got the vision, basically, of a life on a beach, a home on a beach, well, that could be constructed for you in virtual reality, not for you to live the rest of your life there, but to create that vibrational and energetic experience in you for a sustained amount of time without any effort. You know, because a lot of people suffer over visualizing. Am I doing it right? I'm not seeing pictures. I'm not hearing anything. This isn't working. With this, put it on, boom, you're there. No effort. And you just get to sit there and bask in the being. You know, so there's a little bit of the, okay, I'm wearing a helmet. Like, you kind of got to, there's a few minutes when you're first getting started that you're very aware of the technology around you. But after a while, you forget that and you're just there. And so, obviously, for law of attraction and lots of personal development space, to be able to simulate an experience, you know, is really super powerful, both, you know, to be able to shift you emotionally and vibrationally. Now, you know, a lot of people aren't thinking about VR in that terms at all. They're thinking about games or simulations of this, that, and the other thing. And that's great. I love all of that. But the implications go far beyond that. And so that's the road I'm going down. But I can tell you, like last night, there's a particular program called Universe Sandbox. Okay, Universe Sandbox allows you to, basically, you're in the universe, you can build solar systems, you control planets, the movements, the orbits, the whole thing, and you're out there just kind of floating. So you're in space and you're creating planets and solar systems of massive scale. And I'm telling you, it does something to you. It's not, it goes beyond just a, oh, this is pretty cool. No, you experience a true sense of overwhelming awe. If you allow it. You know, if you can allow yourself to be transported into these environments and let yourself experience the realness of them, you will experience an energetic shift which will impact your vibration and thus your experience of reality. I just realized I forgot to plug in the Ethernet cable, so I'm wireless again, and I saw a little glitch in the broadcast, so I hope we're okay. Yeah, Shane, it's good stuff. It is awesome. Well, so Salcedo, I have the HTC Vive system. There's a few systems out there that are making, the 2016's definitely been the year of virtual reality. There's the Oculus Rift, there's the HTC Vive, PlayStation's got stuff, and there's all sorts of different things for phones. And I've shared a lot of that stuff and given demos on the Bob Doyle Show. You can go back and look at the archives and see some of that stuff that you can do on your phone with a little headset that you can hold in your hand or wear, and it's very inexpensive as long as you already have the smartphone. Not inexpensive. But if you've got like an iPhone or an Android, you can experience virtual reality today. You know, these headsets are dirt cheap. There's one right over there, but I can't reach it. But just do a search for Google Cardboard or whatever. Anyway, there's lots of ways that you can experience it without going full blown. But to develop a title, I obviously had to get off of just my phone and get the real stuff. And it has been everything I hoped it would be and more. It's been something I've been wanting to do since I was a kid, right? The whole concept of it is obviously going to make a kid go, oh, that sounds cool. And I've never grown out of that. So now I get to do it. And all of these tools I've collected over the years for 3D animation and graphics and things, now I can really use all these things to start creating these worlds, which that's just the way my life has been. All these skill sets and things I've picked up, I get to actually use them in ways that I never would have anticipated. And that's true for a lot of people, actually. Universe Sandbox is amazing. You do Google searches. If you really want to be blown away, just go to, not Google, YouTube. Go YouTube and search on Universe Sandbox 2. There's Universe Sandbox and Universe Sandbox 2. 2 is the VR version. And then anything else with the HTC Vive or Oculus Rift, and just see what's going on out there. You know, one of the big apps right now is the recreation of climbing Mount Everest. You know, experiences that you'll probably never, most of us will never do in real life. You get a taste of them. And it's so much different than just looking at a video. I mean, so much different when you're there, for all intents and purposes. So I know right now it's not in the reach of everybody. It's still pretty expensive technology to get into, between the computer that you need to run it and then the headsets and all that stuff itself. You know, it's a hefty investment. But that's only going to get cheaper as time goes on, probably within a year or two, and it'll get better. You know, right now I'm wearing a headset with all these cables that I have to drag around and all that. It'll all be wireless one day. And the headset will turn into glasses or goggles. You know where it's going. So, and then that's another whole conversation, which I have discussed a little bit more in depth on the Bob Doyle show and don't want to do here because it's just too freaky. But where this is all inevitably going, or perhaps where it's already gone and we're just not aware. Okay, that's gross. Okay, yeah, hold on one sec. So HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, PlayStation VR, and Google Cardboard. All right, so all of those, if you just explore any of those things just on your own, you're going to be blown away with what's out there. But no video you watch on YouTube or anywhere else is going to give you the experience of putting it on. And that's even with the phones. When you put the phone, when you hold the phone headsets up, it's, you know, it's amazing. It is amazing what you can do on the phone. It's just that the resolution on your phone can't touch the resolution, the crispness of the image. And also, there's other factors too in the interactivity with the environment that you can with a full-blown system. But you can still get an amazing experience and make you go, whoa. And there's so much content out there, guys. So much content. YouTube has hundreds, thousands of videos that are called 360 videos, where when you watch them on your phone or with one of these more expensive things, you know, you can look all around the scene as it's going. You're not just looking at what the camera wants to see. The camera's looking at everything. You choose where you're doing. So you can recreate, again, all sorts of experiences, roller coasters, outdoor things, just whatever. And there's just goo gobs of content out there waiting for you to explore and play with. Boundless Living will be doing this. And I'm already, like, one of the things that I'm doing is learning, personally, you know, I like to know how to do stuff, but learning how to program all of these things may be a little bit more than I want to take on, but I'm learning anyway. Because yesterday a course showed up. I set up a Google alert for virtual reality, and a course showed up for $25 that teaches me literally everything I need to know for game design, virtual reality design, and 3D modeling. It's hours. I mean, it would take me months to go through the thing, and that's the question. Do I really want to invest in that or just hire some programmers to do it? And I think the answer is both. I want to know how to do it, be able to do it a little, and then get somebody who's really super good at it to already do it. But I like to understand what's going on when I'm dealing with programmers and whatever. So let's get back to Law of Attraction for a sec. Do you have to be spiritual to also use the LOA, as I want to move away from Reiki as it doesn't make me happy anymore? Do you have to be spiritual? No. You don't. One second. You have to understand, you're always using the LOA. You can't get away from it. It's how energy works in the universe. So it's happening all the time. So you're using it whether you're spiritual, not spiritual, a jerk, a nice person, doesn't matter. You're using it. Now, getting the results you want intentionally by quote unquote using it, that's a different thing. But no, you don't have to be spiritual. You just have to know what you want. The universe isn't judging people as whether or not they're spiritual. Sorry. In terms of whether or not you get something. You are the one. You. You are the governor, not the universe. The universe is not deciding, no, you don't deserve that. It's not. There's no judge in the sky going, you're not ready. You're the judge. You're the one that has the resistance. You're the one who sets up the energetic system that says either allow it or don't. So this whole thing about the universe is testing me, no, it isn't. You are testing you. You're the one who attracts the situations that test you to say, am I really committed to this? Because your ego is going to, if you want to go grow out of your comfort zone, your ego is going to go, no, you don't want to grow, and it'll create some sort of energetic doubt or whatever it's going to do to create a circumstance that will make you possibly doubt where you want to go. And it's at that moment that you make the choice. You know, first of all, recognizing that's the ego, that's an energetic event that the ego or I have basically put in front of me to test my own commitment. So it's up to you to pass or fail that one based on your commitment. But the universe isn't up there going, well, we'll see. I'll tell you what, I'll throw them this. It's not doing that. It's energy. And while it has, you know, where we have consciousness as human beings, there's clearly a mass consciousness from which we are a part, evolve. I really don't believe that it's the universe up there deciding you deserve, you don't deserve. The choice is ours. If you feel like you deserve something and are totally open to it and have no energetic blocks to it, you'll most likely manifest it. But if you got all this sort of stuff like, well, I really, really want it. My life would be great if I had it, but it's too hard, it's too big, I don't know how, what will they say, all of that stuff. How will I handle it when it happens? If you got any of that going on, it acts as energetic resistance, which just kind of pushes it away. So it's up to you to recognize, you know, that's why I say it's so important that you really define that vision and are committed to it and are inspired by it so that when those things pop up that seem like, you know, challenges, like so many people go, well, this happened, so I guess the universe doesn't want me to have it. Really? Okay. See, this is you'll see that sometimes I bring a little attitude to this because quite frankly, some people are just silly about this. They just are. They make excuses. They find all these ways to just, and it's not your fault if you do that because that's how a lot of the teachers and stuff position it, and it's just so screwy. Guys, it's science. That's what this is. Don't make it any more complicated than that. Get all the whole judging, the universe judging you and all that. Just get that out of there. Because it'll just mess you up. The minute you take responsibility off of yourself and say, oh, it's the universe or it's this other person or it's this whatever, then now you're out of control and it's not going to happen for you. And you're going to feel justified. Well, the universe just didn't want me to have it. And why would that be? Can't think of a reason. All right. Yeah, Sasha, I didn't see the first part. You can be not a spiritual person, but you're anyways. But yeah, we're all, that's right. So we're all, depending on how you define spiritual and spirituality and all of that other stuff. So there's the person who is the spiritual person, like J.B. Sears, if you've seen his, you know, How to Be Ultra Spiritual series. It's so awesome because the guy is clearly a spiritual person, but he also is very clear that a lot of people are very silly about it and make some good fun of it. You know, how people have just gone this way. But yeah. We're all spiritual, we're all energetic, we're all... Now, practicing spirituality can mean different things. Like, if to be spiritual you think you must draw angel cards every day, well, not everybody's going to draw angel cards, but you're still a spiritual being. You know what I'm saying? I think you know what I'm saying. All right, I missed a ton of questions. Hey, it's Dawn! I know I got kind of on a whole VR thing and I wasn't seeing your comments for a while, so hopefully you guys were able to talk amongst yourself. All right, I have to finish my last sip here because it's going to get lukewarm. Thank you, Dimitri, for reposting that because I did see that you did this before. Okay, I found a mission, helping creatives and entrepreneurs. Then I created a product which solves the market problem and helps creatives and entrepreneurs. And I need that income, more than $1 million, so I can deliver it to as much people as I can around the world, and to get a safe life for my family and to be with them. Is this a good why for LOA? JP Sears is freaking hilarious, Michelle. I am going to challenge that you need $1 million to do what you say. I'm going to challenge that right off the bat. I would say that $1 million might make it easy, but have you actually done the math and calculated? There is no other way, there's absolutely no other way for me to get my message to who I want than exactly $1 million, and here's the proof. My guess is you haven't really done that. You got an idea, you see how you could use $1 million to make it, but the idea that you got to have $1 million to spread it, I'm going to disagree. Because there are other creative ways to get your message out in front of people. I mean, look at the viral the videos that get put out there and get millions of views and give people incredible visibility for their causes, their beliefs, what they're up to. They're not spending $1 million. They got creative one day and they made a video that clearly and creatively expressed their passion and their message, and they enrolled people naturally, not because they needed $1 million to do it. Because really, what are you going to do with $1 million? I'm curious. Is it advertising? Is it stuff? Is it, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. But my guess, but the other thing is that, you know, for you to feel like you have to attract, let's say $1 million is necessary. It's still not up to you to attract $1 million. It's not. If $1 million is necessary to make this happen, that $1 million can come from people who you enroll in your vision, who expect nothing of you, who invest in your vision. Say, I'm on board with that, you know, we'll do this. But if you have to figure out, well, I got to sell $1 million worth of stuff, holy crap, that is a daunting thing. So to say this is how it must happen is limiting, and a lot of people do it, and especially entrepreneurs who have products and services to sell. They say, well, I'm going to reach my success, or I'm going to hit my goal by selling this number of products and services, and they put all their attention on that, to the exclusion of other things, more creative things that don't require money. You know, I'm reading Xavier's thing. Just need the dream and the wish to fulfill your goal. Just visualizing it. Well, that's part of it, yeah. And then taking action, sometimes massive, you know, as a result of the intuitive nudges that you get as a result of putting your vision out there and basically asking, if you will, for guidance. Okay, I gotcha. Dimitri, it's really normal. I mean, it's everybody. We're trained to think that the money, if we just get the $1 million, and for some reason the $1 million, believe me, $1 million can cause all kinds of problems. Not necessarily the solution to everything. You can believe me on that one. So really, again, it's more important to focus on the outcome, how you want everybody to feel, the impact. Because truly, going out and trying to earn $1 million by selling a bunch of stuff, you know, it's much better to go out and inspire people. If your vision, if your mission is inspiring, then communicate that. Inspire people. Inspiration moves people into action, you know, way more than other stuff. And to focus on, I'm going to make $1 million in sales. Oh man, that's a lot of marketing. That's a lot of advertising. That's a lot of convincing. That's just a lot of stuff. As opposed to, hey everybody, hey world, here's my vision. Won't you help me? You know, do a Kickstarter, something like that. You know, that's another way you could do it. But it is going to take, you know, enrolling people into your vision. People with money, people you've never met yet, people you wouldn't even think, people you don't even know exist. You wouldn't know to even go to them to ask them for help. You wouldn't know, but you put it out there. And if it's enrolling and inspiring and it gets shared and passed around, eventually it'll get to the right people, if that is, of course, your intention. So your intention should be that you are going to attract exactly the right resources and people, whether it's money or whatever, to get to your vision. And you don't care how or how much. Okay? That's, I don't know if you guys hear Lynn in the background or not. She's doing an interview right now. She's being famous too. I don't know who's more famous right now. I don't know how many people are listening to her as opposed to watching me. It's not a contest, or is it? It's not. All right. Yes, action. Xavier, I knew you had to take action. I knew that you knew that action is necessary. So I just wanted to clarify that for everybody else. All right. Did I miss any other things? I feel like I'd missed some stuff. that we're... Boy, this time has just flown by. It is 44 minutes already. 45 minutes? I feel like I just got started. I'm curious, who's new here? Who is here for the first time today? Yes, Lynn Rose, that's right. She's doing some interview on Blog Talk Radio right now. I don't know what she's talking about or anything. I just hear her. And perhaps you do too. Okay. So great, Dimitri. You were new. Now, were you here because of the email? Or did you just kind of stumble upon this? I'm real curious. Yeah, Andreas. Hey, Andreas, are you out there? Charlotte wants to know. Come on, Andreas. Step up and say, I'm here. You don't have to ask anything. But, you know, let Charlotte know. All right. So, well, welcome, Dimitri. I hope you show up every week and tell all your friends. And that's, you know, for all of you. I'd love it if you shared this broadcast. I think we've got something really unique here, and I think the people who come here every week know that this is very different than, like, you know, how most law of attraction things are done, where it's more like a webinar and there's a, you know, and I don't know. I feel like we just do things differently here. Hopefully it's a little bit more approachable and comfortable and real. You know, one of the things I like to do here is share the challenges that I have, the humanity that is Bob Doyle, as opposed to, hey, I got it all worked out, nothing ever bad happens to me, and I never have a problem, because that's goofy, and that's not true for anyone out there, no matter how they put themselves out there. So for me, I just prefer to be honest about it, because, you know, you can have amazing results and not do things perfectly. But it's nice to have a place to come every week to kind of check in, get a tune-up. You know, like I feel like some of you have gotten some, like, yeah, like Dimitri's like, okay, well, maybe focusing on the $1 million isn't quite it. So just little tweaks in the way that you're approaching this thing. That's what, so we just think of this Wednesday session as a kind of a tune-up. Or if you're brand new, asking basic questions, which is great too. So, well, great, Terry. Well, you're welcome to come. And look, on this page, as you scroll down, you will see that I have a ton of resources here on this page. There's old Periscope broadcasts when I just looked frightening. And there's Cody. Last week's Law of Attraction broadcast. And just basically, and this is a great video that you guys need to watch if you haven't watched it, seriously. But you can see all the old broadcasts from this. So there's a ton of content waiting to be explored that's free and not selling anything here. So I invite you to like this page if you haven't. The next big milestone on this page is 21,000 likes. So let's get there, shall we? But that's going to happen through sharing, and I don't know what it's going to do. I don't know what it's going to take. I just show up here anyway because I just like it. It's just fun. And I know, even though it says right there, live one viewer, clearly we have more than one viewer because there's 3 or 4 of you asking questions on a regular basis. How do I feel about prognosticators like tarot readers who claim to know the futures in regards to the LOA, etc.? Yeah, that's a fair question. I can't speak to that because, you know, first of all, I would never say that a person does or does not have an ability that they say unless I can prove that they're wrong. There are so many tarot readers out there that I couldn't possibly prove them all wrong. I think some may have a gift. Some may not. I've heard some people say that they don't really need the cards, but the cards are a tool to help the client connect with whatever it is that they're seeing. I don't know, and I'm not going to pretend to know. It's not my thing, you know, to go to a tarot reader or whatever. Lynn likes to pull angel cards and stuff like that. Honestly, to me, they all seem kind of generic and can be interpreted however you want. Whatever message you want to get out of them, to me. Like, you hardly ever pick one and go, oh, no, I'm doomed. You know, you normally get one and go, ah, yes, that's exactly what I needed to hear, right? So I don't know. I'm going to get some tarot readers going, it's not that simple. And that's fine. Correct me. It's okay. I don't know. I'm saying right now I don't know. Well, thank you, Dawn. How are you beating the feeling of being stuck? So Abraham and others like to say that you're not stuck, you're just having the same thought over and over, and I would agree to that. You know, we get something puts the idea into our head that we're stuck, and then we tell ourselves that. I'm just stuck, and a lot of it's the ego. Just says, well, you know, sorry, you can't get what you want because you're stuck. And in some ways, that's like an excuse. Like, oh, I can't. I'd love to, but I'm so stuck. And the more you say you're stuck, the more stuck you will be. The only way to get unstuck is to focus again on your vision and take action. Move out of the stuckness. You can't use this conversation around being stuck to stop you from taking action. Most of the time, you're going to know that there's action to take that you're not taking, and your ego has talked you out of it, giving you a good, rational, logical reason not to take that action. Oh, that doesn't make sense. That's not going to get there. That you don't have enough resources. You don't know how. That's too scary. That's too out of your comfort zone. So since you don't do that, you get to say you're stuck. When actually you're not stuck. You're just having the same thought over and over, is that I'm stuck. Or it's their fault. Or until I leave this job, I can't do anything. Or until I get this amount of money, I can't do anything. Those are all just lies that you're telling yourself, and they keep you stuck. So you got to change your predominant thought. And a lot of that happens when you get that vision that is so inspiring that it doesn't matter how stuck you feel. That's not an excuse. You must do this. So I would say to a lot of people that if you're getting stuck, it's because your vision is, you're not inspired enough by your vision. You're letting an obstacle or two stop you from your vision. And if the vision was inspired enough, you wouldn't let that happen. If the vision was to save your own life or the life of a child or whatever, you're not going to let feeling stuck stop you, are you? No. You're going to do whatever it takes. You're going to move through whatever comfort zone you have to save the life of a loved one. Well, your vision is a loved one. Save it. All right. Thank you, Reiki. Lorraine. Let's see. Michelle says, I had it. Boy, I see. Hopefully I don't know if my glasses are going to be here within the week. They said a week to a week and a half. So maybe next week I won't be doing this. I had a first-year checkup and got a call today. So they said, I found something. I don't feel anything bad, but I'm attracting it. If yes, how do I? Well, first of all, let's just relax for now until you know what's going on. And then you can take your next step. You know, so there's so much physical that is tied to emotions that manifests itself physically. Even things that are not just phantom things, but actual things that do appear in your body that people can point at and go, you got this thing that stemmed from an emotional issue. So, you know, when you know what that is, you can go after it. Read You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay, if you haven't already. Why vision is more clear in the morning than in the evening? Well, first of all, I'm not sure that that's true for everyone. Like, for example, when I wake up in the morning, that's usually the time I'm in panic mode. My vision is horrible at that point. That's the worst time for me. That's when, you know, I wake up and for whatever reason, my mind wants to go to here's all the terrible things that might happen today, and I have to work through that. So my vision is not that great in the morning. It seems to get better once I shake all that off, have my coffee, get into my day, and wake up and move past my dreams and all the subconscious chatter that's been going on. So it's just a matter of how your brain works. So, but that's all the more reason why in the morning, before you get started with your day, one of the great things you can do is to meditate or check in with gratitude or whatever, just to kind of proactively change your mindset from, or aim it towards the vision. But look, if your vision is better in the morning, don't worry, don't even ask why. Just take advantage of that and bask in it. Don't worry about why. Again, your ego will do anything it can to slow you down, and a lot of times the ego just wants to, it says it wants to know why. Why does this work? Why is that appropriate? Why is this? Because I'm not going to do it, or I'm not going to fully embrace it until I understand why. And look, that was how I was about the law of attraction when I first started this stuff. I wanted to believe it, but my ego needed to know why. Luckily, I came across the resources that showed me the reality of the law of attraction from a scientific point of view, so I didn't have to do all that doubting anymore. And it was there, and that's why I put it all into the course that I have, is to get people past that. Okay, well, I think I answered that to the best of my ability. Look at that. We are up at almost at the top of the hour. So I got time for a couple more questions. So I guess, you know, in terms of the law of attraction, I mean, the virtual reality thing, I am thinking about bringing elements of that into this broadcast, and like maybe doing a pre-recorded thing, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, demonstrating a particular virtual reality app and why I think it deserves your attention. Obviously it would take away from the Q&A time, but I think it would be, first of all, I want to do it just because I want to do it. It's my show. I can do what I want. But I also want to provide value and inspire. You know, there's going to be some of you who are like, I don't care about virtual reality. It all just sounds like a fad or whatever. And that's fine. So you don't have to watch that part. But this is a very important part of the direction that I'm going, and I have very specific reasons why, and I think that it has a major impact on the law of attraction. And I want to start getting those of you who are not familiar with it at least indoctrinated a little bit into what the potential is, so that you can choose to explore it or not at whatever level you want, whether it's to go buy, you know, a cheap little Google Cardboard headset and put your phone in it and experience some of the many virtual reality apps that are out there, to experience that feeling of being transported somewhere and see what that does to you emotionally, and you can feel it. As a lot of people don't recognize the potential of the feeling. They just go, wow, that's really cool. It's like I was there. I'm like, yeah, just think of the potential of being able to generate that feeling. It's just taking it the next step. Oh, virtual puppies. You know, I'll bet you $10. I won't bet you that, but I'll bet you there's out there on YouTube, there's probably a 360 video at least that is just, in fact, I know, I've seen some, but I have to find a really good one, where basically the camera is sitting in amongst a bunch of puppies and you could just sit down on the floor and be surrounded by virtual puppies. Believe you me, I'm looking for that right after we're done here. Virtual puppies, how great would that be? But that's one of the things that I want to, you know, one of the things that we'll bring into our tool set here is these 360-degree cameras. There's so many coming out right now. 360-degree cameras are the cameras that basically you place it down and it's filming everything. It's filming your whole room. And they have them now where you can actually stream live to YouTube with this 360. So I could basically do this broadcast or any other broadcast in 360 degrees. It's not really virtual reality. That's people get them confused, but it feels, especially to a beginner, it feels kind of like that, because it does feel like you're right there, but you just can't move around in the space because the camera itself is in a static location, but you can look all around. So if there's puppies in front of you, behind you, above you, below you, you can see all of those and get that feeling of being amongst a bunch of puppies or whatever the experience is. I mean, there's some stuff like, you know, skydiving and jumping out of planes, crazy stuff that, like there's this one game where the very first thing you have to do is step out of a plane. And I know I'm in my room. I know that there's nothing but carpet underneath me. But when you got those goggles on, it says, okay, step out of the plane. And you're looking down and you just see the ground and you see the plane on both sides and stuff all over the place, and you know that you're stepping off into virtual empty space. I know full well I'm not going to fall, but holy crap, it feels like it. There's this hesitancy. Salcedo, how can you attract love and happiness and love? You be that. That's the answer. We all have different levels of vibration. How this influence on process of visualization. You're right. We all vibrate differently. That's why this question is like, when I first started this, I used to get questions like, what's the frequency of money? Like there's a number. I don't look at it that way. What's your feeling? It's really about you, Lucy. Just get in touch with the feeling. Don't worry about the levels of vibration. If it feels good and it inspires you, don't worry about all that stuff, because we're not meant to have to understand the science of all this for it to work, you know. It's part of our natural way of being. We were born to be creators. We were born as this energetic entity with all of these abilities to visualize and have passions and do all of these things and have intuition to be able to communicate basically with the universe and get messages and get pushed in the right direction. That's natural. We've masked that natural ability with years and years of doubts and limiting beliefs and control by other people and entities and things like that. And what we're trying to do now is just return to our natural way. So don't worry. Is grinding bad for LOA? I don't know what that means. So I can't answer that question. RV campers in 360. Yeah, it's fun. The 360 video stuff is fun. And especially if you do have a smartphone and get one of these, you know, headsets, and you basically either strap it on or hold it up to your face and look all around. And it's great for things like real estate and property, but also just escapes to different places where you may never go, or to be surrounded by puppies, which is a wonderful idea. All right. Well, my friends, we are at an hour, and that music verifies that. So if you were at any doubt, actually, it has nothing to do with it. The music's playing because I pushed the button. But look, so Friday, noon, right here. Well, not here. Not on the Bob Doyle Law of Attraction Resources page, but on the Bob Doyle timeline, which is actually facebook.com/boundlessliving. It's all wacky. I didn't know what I was doing when I joined Facebook on so many levels. I named everything wrong. I let everybody be my friend. You know, like a lot of people do that. If you want to introduce someone to the Law of Attraction, how would you start? Well, the secret's a good idea. You could bring them to you could point them to one of these broadcasts. I've got lots of different stuff on YouTube, introductory type of stuff that's all free. You know, there's a lot of different ways. But you got to be careful about introducing people to the Law of Attraction as if they need it. You're like, you know what you need is the Law of Attraction. People tend to resist that kind of stuff, and I don't blame them. But there are ways to broach the conversation. It really depends on who you're talking to, I guess is what I'm saying. Excuse me. Wow, the coffee's just coming right back at me. Well, thanks for hanging out with me, and thank you, Dimitri, and all of those others who were new, and those of you who are here and didn't say a word. I hope you'll come back next Wednesday for more Law of Attraction discussion, and of course, the Bob Doyle Show on Friday at 12 noon Pacific. That would really make me happy. Isn't that what you want? You want to make me happy? Thank you, Deborah. Well, I'm really glad. So I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I didn't let my eye appointment stop me from broadcasting today. All right, everyone. I am out of here, and I'll see you next time.